Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it might be, wherever you are in the world. My name is Elliot Baker, and once again, welcome to Athena Games. And tonight we got some X-Wing action going on, so I'm your regular commentator for the Voitek Invitational II, combined with my co-commentator on my right, Max Bull. Welcome back to the show, Max. It's nice to have you back.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
We always have a good time whenever we're in the booth here. And we got a cracking for a first match, haven't we? We have David Lincoln's Spangled Man list, is what he's calling it, versus Voitek's Double Jump Master, which is Dengar and Tel Trevura, which is very unusual. Not
the normal pairing.
Yeah, which is why I kind of said, yeah, it's cool, we can see those. Tel Trevura. I always had a problem with that pronunciation, but there we go. That's what it's called. And let's shove immediately over to the board as they're setting up right now, as you can see. Voitek on the left, David on the right. What do you think about this little combination of abilities? We've got 4 big ships on the board for this game.
Yeah, nothing small based here. And everything's a turret.
Or theoretically, everything's a turret.
Well, I mean, Dengar's a turret who likes his arc.
That is true.
Yeah, he's still a turret when he needs to be.
When he needs to be, yes. That's a good point, yeah. I think David's going to be relying a lot more on his turret more than Voitek, and that's not David's style. It's more about how the ships he plays.
I think so, yeah. Especially as he has the lower pilot skill here. Voitek has VI on Tel, so he's flying them both at PS9. Whereas I believe David's on 5s.
Well, we're going to find out. I'm just loading up the list now as we speak.
So it's, if I remember, Lebo's pilot skill.
That sounds about right to me. Chewbacca and Lebo is what he's running. Yes. So it's 5s all around.
Against a pair of 9s.
Yeah, so there is definitely a pilot skill advantage going on here. Do you think that could factor a lot into the result of this match?
Possibly. I mean, there's a certain amount of repositioning on the jump masters, and I believe he's flying Lebo with a heavy laser cannon.
He is indeed heavy laser cannon, anti-pursuit lasers though as well, which is interesting. He does have the pilot skill to block if he wants to.
He does.
That's quite an advantage there. Plus with the barrel roll, he can possibly do that.
He could. And I think a pair of pilot skill 5s isn't something you build unless you assume you're coming up against higher pilot skill than you.
I agree. I think in this day and age, you're looking at a lot of... when you go into a game, you have to consider the fact that you're probably going to go against ships that have pilot skill 8 or 9. Maybe even 10, if people want to shove VI onto them. Possibly. Or adaptability. I mean, we all know that if you shoot first and just destroy a ship, then, yeah, you're pretty much there. It's better to kill and remove something from the board than to wait.
Yes.
So I think you've got to consider the fact that you have any... Sorry?
Yeah, no, you have to assume that. Although that said, Chewie is still a very hard thing to kill.
That is very true. He is a hardy ship. That is Chewbacca. His ability is, if you would like to go over it, what is his ability?
When he would take a face-up damage card, it immediately flips face down.
That's very good.
So he can't take crits, usually.
There are certain specific scenarios where he can, but I don't think that will apply in tonight's game.
No, it largely involves flipping the face-down cards back face-up.
Yeah, so there are
neither of these ships can do.
There are... No, not these ships, but there are some abilities, and I guess if you have Saboteur, that is a way to do it.
There are a few ways, but it's not easy to...
It's a highly situational thing.
Yes.
As we see right there, Voitek setting up his ships at pilot skill 9. David has already set up his. Looks like that they're going for... And there's the handshake there, and the match is on. Looks like Chewbacca's going to go for a straight joust right down the middle there, while Lebo may try and join Chewie, or he can easily turn in and go on the other side of the asteroids.
There are options there. In some ways, he might want to keep them apart, as Chewie, not having that range 1 bubble, obviously, is going to be more powerful in range 1, whereas Lebo wants to keep as far away from that. Wants to keep away from that if he can.
I completely agree.
If something's in range 1 of him, he just can't shoot.
Yeah. Then again, don't discount how maneuverable those jump masters are. They can very quickly get up in your face.
Oh, they have very good dials and barrel roll. So
it's gonna be a hard match.
And Voitek uses them a lot, so he knows what he's doing.
Voitek does, however, I'll counter that by the fact that David uses these two ships a lot.
He does. He does build a lot of lists around these two ships in varying combinations. So he does know what he's doing with them as well. It's
going to be a game of basically skill versus skill. Both players know what they're doing. They're flying the optimal lists.
Yep.
It's going to be who comes to the best tactics. That's what it's going to come down to. Speaking of, there's a simple shimmy forward and a barrel roll there by Voitek.
Yes, if I saw him flying the same list on Sunday, if it's the same pattern as before, Dengar's the one that's has the new paint job. Assuming that it's...
So
he hasn't changed.
I wouldn't... that's the thing. I wouldn't do that because I think Dengar should be flying the original punishing one. But that's just me.
That's...
Oh, you try for a barrel, he got caught there. Do you think that might cost his positional advantage? He has presented a choice to David of which jump master do you go for, and the other one can easily flank.
Yes.
But with a turret, that's not really much of a concern, really.
Not as much, no. It might have... It's not... losing that barrel roll is not what Voitek would have wanted. There's an asteroid too close in front of Dengar right now. Limits his options at least a bit, which I think is what he was trying to avoid.
Unfortunately, that could be what... I mean, I think, speaking of the asteroids, they're very much spread out much more than they usually are, which is no surprise, given the fact we have
large ships.
Only large ships on the field. David is using Ray, which is on... I believe it's Lebo. Let me double check that information there. It is indeed on Lebo, so he's banking the focus. Her ability is she can put a focus token on her card and apply it during the activation phase?
During the start of the combat phase, she can move it across.
So even if he bumps, he has a focus. That's a very good piece of ability there. Hedging your bets for the future, essentially.
Yes.
Which I guess is useful, because if you don't spend it, you might as well.
Yeah, you can keep it. It more or less makes any ship a slightly weaker mouldy crow. As long as it has a crew slot. And it's a rebel.
Yes.
But it's a very useful ability for only, I believe she's 2 points.
She is 2 points. Very efficient point cost for her. Although people would probably argue that she's a clutch card, because she's one you have... as a contingency, but I think there's never going to be a situation where she's not useful.
No, absolutely not.
There are going to be times where you don't want to spend it. Opening moves is probably the best example. You know, the first maneuver, you're probably not going to be in engagement range.
No, so you may as well keep that focus and actually make sure that action has had some purpose.
Speaking of engagement range, we're into round 2 of the movement phase, and Chewie has just moved into range of Dengar.
Taking 2 stress, Chewie here has rage.
He has indeed raged.
So that's a very angry Wookiee.
A very angry Wookiee, and we all know you don't want to upset a Wookiee.
Oh no. I think it's... So I think at this point what David is trying to do is take down Dengar as quickly as possible, which is probably the right call. Dengar has the Punishing One title, and of course Dengar's ability to fire back at anyone who shoots him inside his firing arc once a turn is something that you do want to get rid of as quickly as possible.
Oh, what a piece of manoeuvring there. Just missing the asteroid. Impressive.
Very nice.
And he's K4 security droid to gain a target lock. So K4 security droid, when you form a green maneuver, you may take a target lock. Again, great action efficiency card.
Very much.
Now, is David flying Lebo too close to Chewie? Because Lone Wolf is the ability that elite talent that has been applied to Lebo. So when he's not in range 1 to 2 of a friendly ship, he gets modifications on his focus results.
He can
one of the black results.
We want his blank results on attack and defense. I think he's got the distance there. You have to remember that we can't quite see the Chewie's base.
Yes,
because the ship is big. But the corner you're actually looking at, the Falcon does overhang fairly significantly, I think.
Very significantly.
So that's...
The punishing one is the punishing one. The punishing one. The punishing thing about Dengar is he has got expertise on him.
He does,
and that's going to be very painful with his return fire because whenever Dengar is attacked, he gets a return shot once per round. Hello, Audio Weasel. Thank to you too, and we thank you for joining us. Hate me.
The thing with this though is as soon as Dengar drops, that's the vast majority of the firepower out of the list.
There goes a lot of power already, because look at that. Dengar is target locking, and there's 2 focus dots which he expertise up. That's 4 hits on Chewbacca with nothing stopping it.
So he certainly has the damage output. But once he does fall, trying to finish off with just Tel Trevura isn't...
Not impossible, but very difficult.
Not impossible.
Bear in mind, that's nearly all of the Falcon's shield stripped in one pass.
Yes.
Very, very, very powerful there. Tel is the survival one, but the thing is, Dengar is damage output, so I do agree that Dengar's the right target. There's Chewbacca.
That's range rerolls.
Range rerolls, and nothing.
No, 1, it seems, but evaded.
Yeah, just one result, which is easily evaded. And that's not what David needed. He wanted to do damage because now Dengar's going to get a return shot on him, and he's got nothing in return.
Oh. No, I believe he shot Tel.
Oh. Interesting. I guess he...
wanted to avoid that return shot. I'm not sure. Yes, he did only roll 3 dice, and that's clearly a range 1 shot.
I agree with you.
Chewie would have had. I would have gone for the shot personally, taking the return fire.
Because yes, although you're taking more that Dengar's throwing out, Dengar is more squishy than you.
Yes.
If you can take Dengar, Tel Trevura is very much on his own, and even with 2 plasma torps,
yes.
I don't know there's much that he can do to survive.
No, and he is. I mean, Tel does have a slight bonus of survivability. His ability for the first time he would be destroyed, he removes all of his damage cards and just assigns 4 face down ones, leaving him on usually 1 hull.
Very powerful if you have a hull upgrade on him.
It's effectively gives him an extra 2 hit points for the price of 1.
And as someone at the region at World found out, if you put Gonk on him, it makes him even more survival potentially. Alright then. Very bold 4 forward there by Lebo, but I think that's a bit risky because he's going away from the engagement zone because...
He is. I would have gone a slight turn, a bank of some kind.
He could be worrying too much about Lone Wolf, which sometimes it's worth giving up the Lone Wolf to get into range.
If you don't have a shot, then Lone...
Well,
he is anyway.
He is anyway.
Chewie is definitely too close for Lone Wolf to come into play.
See, I would have turned Lebo in, then crashed Chewbacca, so that...
we're using Kanan here and then Inspiring Recruit to remove both of the rage stress.
Agreed.
And then getting it straight back.
Yeah, because... Of course. That's a very angry Wookiee.
It's it.
Right, let's bring the overlay up finally for all you lovely viewers. Boom, boom.
Yeah, there we go.
A 2 bank from Dengar there. Oh no, that's Tel.
That's Tel.
Let me go and check if that is the case because he might switch them. So I'm going to go double check with that.
As I said, that was just how he was flying them last time I saw that list. He could have switched. And I can't quite make out the number. Nope. Nope. The numbers are too far away. I can't read them. If that... Ooh, no. Will he make it? Yes.
You were correct in your assumption. The painted one is indeed Dengar.
And Dengar is sitting right behind Chewie. This is, I think, not a great position.
I would have gone for a block there if I was Chewbacca and tried to block Dengar for deny him his actions.
Yes, a 1 hard instead of the 2 hard would have resulted in a very similar scenario to what we have here. Dengar would...
However, it's worth noting is that Lebo does have the heavy laser cannon on either shot, and I would go
This
for
is true.
Dengar because, in fact, I would have Lebo shoot first, and then Dengar has to choose whether he wants to use his ability. And if he does, then shoot with Chewbacca. If he doesn't,
Yes.
then shoot for Tel.
Yes.
Even then,
with Chewie.
even then, I'll shoot Dengar first. But you want to get him to waste it at the time. Actually, no, is it only range 1 that you can fire?
No, I believe it's just when you're taking the as long as it's in arc.
Let me double check that.
I think.
So the Star Spangled Man list is not doing too fantastic so far. Is that another couple of damage we're seeing?
It is that, I think.
Yep, 1, 2, 3.
Hull off the Wookiee there.
Oh dear, and Chewie is hurting badly.
That's 5 hull left on that, and that was from Tel. Here comes the shot from Dengar. That's lots. That's one evade.
That's something. So that's 3 hits, which should keep the Wookiee alive a bit longer.
It's that way round, but then obviously Chewie flips that the other way.
Indeed he does, which is, I think, useful. Mm-hmm. So that's Chewie down to 2 hull left. And if you look on the left-hand side of the screen, it's not looking good for David because there has been nothing taken off the rival ships.
And he's nearly lost his Falcon.
That's not good at all.
No.
He needs to start punching damage through. I mean, it's such a shame he flubbed the roll on Rage last time.
He did, and Lebo was just out of range to have a heavy laser cannon shot on Dengar.
I think that was the mistake.
I think so.
But he's putting a focus on thanks to Ray. Mm-hmm. He's got a target lock on Dengar, so he's got good dice quality against Dengar with a heavy laser cannon shot, which is 4 dice, as you can see on the overlay, since the Outrider title replaces the primary weapon with the cannon upgrade. So that is, although it's only 2 dice, it's now technically 4 dice. 8. Where'd I get 8 from?
I don't know.
Can you imagine an 8 attack dice ship? Oh. That would be crazy.
No, they wouldn't do that. That'd be.
I've played it in an attack wing.
No, that's a different game, though.
I know, but it's still close. Similar kind of game. Same system.
Yes.
All right, here's 2 hits and 2 focus. David's wondering, do I spend it? And I say, do it.
I think he should.
Do it.
I think he should.
Damage
yes.
quality, man.
Oh no, he's going for the rerolls, and
we're not winning. I think that he should have gone for the focus. He had all the results. He was hedging his bets, but it's cost him a hit essentially.
Yeah,
and that's a hit that he wants to get in on Dengar.
Yeah,
because now Dengar could be alive one more round to use his ability where he gets to return fire, and he is returning fire now. So if I'd say David should attack Dengar
with Chewie
next. There's a focus result. He does get Lone Wolf. No, he can't get Lone Wolf because it's too close. So he only takes 2. But now
Chewie's going to have the range 1 with a focus shot. So this should, in theory, that does look good.
That looks good. That does
look good. That also looks good.
That also looks very good.
That looks like
2 more shields of Dengar. Dengar's lost his shields, which is something, but not enough.
No, because Chewbacca is probably going to drop before he gets another shot.
That's the problem, is that Chewie can't be there to put damage output. Chewie can't avoid being... Chewie has to avoid the arc, but he can't because they're turret ships.
Yeah.
So if he can avoid Dengar's arc for the return fire, then maybe he's got a chance. But I don't see that happening. He's in a great position to signals, providing Lebo goes in the right position. However, I don't think signalling will help.
I don't think so either.
He has put that title on.
He has
the ship. Yeah.
Yes.
So the question is, do you think it'd be better if he had the traditional running Falcon, which gives you the evade action, which I know it takes away from your quality a bit more, but it gives you some defensive options? Because do you need the arc with this Falcon?
No, I mean usually the slooping Falcon you see on Rey, who obviously she needs her
because
she needs her arc.
She gets benefits from having ships on arc.
Yes.
So of course she would do that.
Chewie doesn't. He doesn't really care about that at all. So I'm not entirely certain.
So if you're watching this back, Dave, in the future, which you probably are, you're probably watching it right now at 1 o'clock in the morning as of Thursday. So I would advise changing it out for that one because they're the same cost, I believe.
They are. They're both a point. Yes, most things with the same name tend to be.
Here we go.
If they can fit in multiple.
Well, I think it's the first ship that's had the same title.
Actually, that's a good point in terms of titles.
I think it's the only upgrade that has the same title. I think. I don't think there's another upgrade which has...
There's R2D2
There is
and
R2D2.
Astromech.
They are two different things. I'm not sure that counts because that's two different upgrade types.
It is that is true.
And that I think they also are different point costs as well. So...
Well, I may have just made something up then. That's fine.
No, I'm so curious. I'm actually going to check that now. Because we know R2D2 as a droid is 4.
Yes.
Because he's the most expensive astromech.
Yes.
But let's have a look at R2D2.
Oh, he's 4.
He is 4 as well. Okay, curious.
Well, there you are then.
There you go. Fair enough.
I didn't realise that. Because,
I didn't realise that.
No, because you never
probably a bit too expensive for what he does. But
I can never remember what he does, to be honest.
You may discard a damage card you receive and recover a shield, I think, if you've got no shields left.
Okay.
I think that's what it is. Yes, at the end of the phase, if you have no shields, you may recover 1 shield and roll 1 attack dice. On a hit result, randomly flip one of your face down damage cards face up. So he gives you a shield if you've got no shield for the risk of a crit being turned up. But, in this day and age, I think that is a bit too overcosted.
I think so.
1 bank from
Lebo.
Now, I don't... Because the thing is, Dengar's going to get in the donut hole.
He's going for the bump.
This is interesting. He could force the bump with Dengar, and that at least could guarantee that Tel's at range 2. That's a very interesting maneuver, very tactical. Also stops Dengar from getting his actions, potentially.
Unless he gets... Well, other than the... I believe that's green. If it is green, then he still gets his free target
He
lock.
does get the free target lock, but he doesn't get his focus as well. Although he doesn't really need it because of expertise.
That's
so
true.
really, the only thing he's
That's
cost...
defense.
Yeah, he's cost a defensive option and a barrel roll.
And he does have anti-pursuit lasers.
So
potentially a damage on Dengar.
No. We wish. But
that
not today.
That would have been very helpful. That would have
this one turn...
half Dengar on its own.
I think that's going to be fine for Tel. Yeah, it's going to be fine.
That's not a problem.
However, he can't get into the donut hole of
No.
Lebo, which is good for Lebo, but it means that Lebo has to attack Tel, although he can't attack Dengar away because
they're touching.
Touching and donut hole anyway. So.
Yes, so multiple reasons. So
and there's there's a target lock from Tel onto
Lebo,
which makes sense. And Ray is being put onto...
Is applying a focus there, yeah.
He doesn't have target lock, but hopefully that focus will be enough.
There's some missiles coming at Chewie, probably just to...
this is to finish him off.
To make sure, yeah.
And of course with guidance ships, we know he gets 1. That's 1 already going through. But of course with no other modifications though. Oh, but that's probably enough.
And that turns into a crit because he has a primary attack value of 3.
Yep.
Thanks to his title, that's it.
So that's it. Chewie's dead.
Down.
And that means the game's over because I don't think Lebo's got what it takes, personally.
No, not against this much Jump Master.
Although he now gets his Lone Wolf reroll on his next attack.
Yes, he will get it all the time now.
Yep, all the time.
I'm not sure that's good enough, though.
I don't think it is good enough, but it's worth mentioning.
Oh, true. It's definitely a thing now. But he lacks the pilot skill. He lacks the firepower.
Only 2 dice. That's 1 hit. Lieber's got a chance of evading this, actually.
True. He could.
I think David's hoping at this point. Wobbling the dice there.
Now it's 2. That was a focus result, I think. There. Talking about something, and that's blanks. Oh, that's with a reroll to a focus result.
I wouldn't spend that.
I wouldn't. He does. He does. He takes 1 shield.
You could probably do some considerable damage because he's probably going to roll all focus now. Odds of probability state that if whenever I spin a focus, I roll all focus next result. That's not too bad.
There's a focus in there.
There's a focus, but that's still 3 hits.
And that's 1 evade.
1 evade.
So that's
at least 2 hits.
Oh no, he's re-rolling one of those.
I think he missed the action now. The
he
opportunity.
May have done, yes.
Maybe things moved a bit too fast, but at least that's 2 that was taken off Tel.
Yes, 3 hits and 1 evade. So.
Well, Lebo's got a lot of work, and it's not enough because unfortunately that donut hole is a thing.
At this stage, what I would be doing. If in David's position is trying to halve both of them.
I think the best thing Lebo can do is try and block as much as he can, because the anti-pursuit lasers could gain him quite an advantage.
True, if he can continue, if he can keep blocking Dengar, then Dengar's not going to get the big shots off.
And it also means that he will get attacked by Dengar, and he's got a chance to do damage on Dengar as well.
Mm-hmm. If you can manage that... Yeah.
Ideally, he wants to. He doesn't have to, but he ideally wants to.
He does, and he ideally wants it to be Dengar.
I think so, because Dengar's the main damage dealer. But the problem is, Voitek knows that.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a sloop left, because it likes going left next round. It'll probably be Tel who tries to get the donut hole. And the problem is, if he doesn't block at least one, they can barrel roll into that blind spot.
They can.
And that is the big issue. That's why he needs to block at least one.
Yeah.
However, that's going to be a very tall order. I think the best thing for Lieber to do, actually, would probably be to turn left, because Tel would then struggle to barrel roll into a position where he can get past it.
A good shot.
Yeah. Is either going to turn left or turn right. Tel could go anywhere at this point. But I think right's probably the best option for him. But a barrel roll wouldn't put him in a range 1 area with a turn.
There's also the fact that Lebo does get range 3 defensive bonuses, but doesn't give them away, because that's technically still a secondary weapon.
That is true. So he does gain a range 3 bonus.
His opponents don't.
Yeah, and here's a 3 bank. This is probably trying to attempt a block on Tel, which I agree this is probably the second best option, although I think Voitek is smart enough to avoid that.
I think you're probably right. So that's that looks like a sloop to me.
I completely agree. I think that's going to be a sloop, and yeah, there we go. There is a sloop.
That makes complete sense. Yeah, that's just the best move Dengar could have done there.
A left-hand turn wouldn't be good for Voitek unless he does a hard turn, but even then he's in the perfect position, and I think that's probably what he's gone and done. He's probably going to be. Oh, has actually David's caught him onto an asteroid as well. That could change things.
It could certainly help.
So anti-pursuit lasers and an asteroid hit coming to play.
So that's potentially 2 damage. That's potentially Tel's shield's gone.
Yeah, that's not too. That if this works well, not bad. So asteroid first. That's a hit.
Yep.
So there's a shield gone. Anti-pursuit lasers.
2 lasers. That's another
hit. That's both shields removed.
That's pretty ideal for
that
David.
That worked out for David. I didn't think Voitek would fall for that, but David played it perfectly. He set up perfectly in that instance there.
Now what he has now is
a range 3 shot through an asteroid from Dengar.
Yes. So that's 4 whole dice.
That's really good.
No, there goes some more of those. It's still 3 dice on the evade, because the asteroid is still relevant.
This is the final missile shot that Dengar will get off, though.
It is.
Let's hope that...
I mean...
Yeah, well, what else we've got to say about that, really?
That's still painful.
And he can turn one to a crit as well. Yeah, he has done that. So that's 3 hits and a crit.
Yep.
Guidance chips and expertise.
Yeah.
Dirty.
Let's see how these go, though. They
spend that.
Spend it, yeah. 1 shield.
That's 1 2 because of plasmas.
Because they are plasmas, so they still remove another shield. Yes. In which case he shouldn't have spent that, because he only flipped 1 up, and the damage is the same. That's
true. Actually, you've got a good point.
You
have a good point actually there.
He absolutely should have kept that focus.
Yeah, but he's still got 3 hits in now. Very respectable.
True, but he's getting a shot back now.
That is true.
That's 3 damage onto Dengar.
Ooh, this actually could be Dengar dying in this game, potentially.
We'll see how this attack goes. That goes 2.
2 hits. Range 3 as well.
Range 3 and avoided. Avoided completely.
Avoided completely. That's actually... okay, yeah, we're in agreement. Lone Wolf came into play there. We're both in agreement that you shouldn't have spent the focus first out, and you're right, because the damage would have been the exact same. You're completely correct. So again, if you're watching this back, David, you kind of, always think plasmas, they take 1 off.
They do take an extra damage.
Shield, so yeah. But again... Yeah.
Spend a focus, take 2 damage. Don't spend the focus, take 2
damage.
Don't spend the focus.
Yeah. But of course, in the heat of the game, it can be very difficult to kind of think things clearly through like that.
True. I mean, there's a lot of upgrades to try to remember.
Yeah.
You're right.
Even though there's nothing wrong with saying, can I have a look at what that upgrade does?
Absolutely.
because it's open information, so
It's
your
true.
opponent can't hide that from you.
Well, there are times when you look at the red dice and you're just seeing the red dice with the little symbols on them, and that's what you can see.
I think David got off very lucky in that round.
He did. That could have been a lot worse for him.
Now the problem is I don't think Voitek's going to fall for it a second time.
Oh, probably not. So unless David does something unusual,
He needs to do something very unusual.
to try to get another bump in. If he manages to bump Tel again, then he will probably be able to take down Dengar.
I would do a 2 or 3 hard turn to the right there, and up through the asteroids, because Tel can't turn around. Because Tel probably wants to. He either wants to sloop or he wants to turn left through the asteroid field. Dengar is also a thing.
The sloop would put him dangerously close to that asteroid.
That's the risk there. So that's why I don't think Voitek would go for it. I think that's probably the best maneuver for David, doing a right-hand turn, end up exactly in that area there between those 2 asteroids, which should just clear with the 2 base. I think that's where he should go, personally.
And then we'll see whether Voitek anticipates that, because if he does, sending Dengar between these 2 asteroids, turning right, a bank.
Because Voitek can't go straight, because he might clip the asteroid if he does. So I think David, if David turned left, he might be able to bump Tel, unless Tel's only going to move 1 forward.
True.
That's the thing. It's all about what's Tel going to do. I think
this is a...
That's a very hard one thing to decide. He doesn't want to stay where he is. He doesn't want to bump. He knows he doesn't want to bump. But if David can get him to bump, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Because he gets an asteroid hit and also another bit of anti-pursuit lasers.
Yes.
So Voitek's...
If it goes as well as last time.
Oh, I believe that's a 1 hard turn, which means they'll stay exactly where they are. Oh, it is in the other direction.
Okay.
So
I see. He's going to try to bump Tel coming this way.
It's not just that. If Tel does bump, he might just clip the corner on the asteroid again.
He might. Let's see. Well, he's definitely bumping.
He's done it again. The boy's done it again.
That's a very good move. It's missed
the asteroid,
but it's still the bump,
and
which means it's still
anti-pursuit lasers.
Yeah, it's still potentially 1 damage on Tel.
And that's a focus result, I believe.
No,
it's a hit.
No, that's a hit. That's,
okay.
That's a hull off Tel. That's half Tel.
I'm shocked that this is actually a thing. Lebo is actually doing the job. Okay.
Dengar doesn't have arc.
Dengar doesn't have arc, and Dengar is... Actually, no, Dengar does have arc.
Oh, yes.
But at range 2, I'd imagine. However, the Outrider certainly can shoot through the asteroid, and that actually might be a shot from Dengar through the asteroid as well. So, we're looking at 2 versus 3, maybe. Because there are no secondary weapons.
That's true.
So,
Dengar has used all of his torpedoes.
although it could be a lucky shot that takes poor old Lebo out.
That is through a rock.
It is indeed through a rock.
So that's got some bonuses for... Yep, that's just him counting out. That looks like 3. Why is he going 4? He's not got 4.
Yeah, I think he's realised that, yes.
That blanks.
Oh, blanks out. That's not what he needed at that time. Oh, Lone Wolf, though.
Lone Wolf gives him 1, so that's 2.
That's 2 crits, though, I believe.
But Lebo gets to pick his crits.
Pick his crits, yes. This is where determination on Lebo comes in useful, although
he doesn't have it here.
A Stun Pilot, well, I don't think he wants that one. Although that's the one he has picked.
Because he's lower pilot skill. Bumping is...
He doesn't care.
Doesn't care.
He's not going to... actually, he might bump, but it's unlikely he'll bump.
He's more... it's better for him,
First control fire.
Immediately gain 1 stress. Not too bad for him, to be honest. He can clear a stress. He's not got any.
Yep. And he's in a great position where he can just do whatever he wants in his dial.
True.
Although it does mean it's much harder for him to force Voitek to bump. Because now Voitek knows he probably wants to do a...
Yeah, absolutely. And here comes the return shot into...
Oh, that's not what he needed.
He gets 1 reroll.
From Lone Wolf.
And then he can focus the others up.
Hopefully this is it for Dengar. All it takes is for 2 to go through, and Dengar is history. But with an extra dice for the asteroid.
And he has a focus token, so he needs 2 blanks, which we don't see. He just evades everything.
Dengar for you. And Dengar gets a return shot, which this is going to be painful. So it's 2 crits on... Ouch. I think that's Lebo dead.
Maybe.
Unless he's got a good roll here. 2 crits. That's Lebo down into
no,
one
that's
hole.
just one. No, that's just the one hit. Those are 2 evades.
Ah, okay.
That's what doesn't go through. That's one hit.
So that's just one hit. That's not too bad then. Although
It still leaves Lebo with only 2 hull. He really needed to kill Dengar with that shot.
he's in a great position though, where he knows that Tel is between him and Dengar. So if he wants to, he can go slow, and hopefully Dengar won't be able to get into the donut hole with a bit of luck. If he can kill Dengar, that's certainly something.
But Lebo only has 2 hull.
That is true. It does mean he'd have to survive 2 hits. Console fire. Ooh, dear.
So he's going to be using up his action to fix that, presumably.
It also means he's got another crit, which also means he is down to, sadly, only one hull left.
Yes.
So, look, it's not gone well. However, god damn did Lebo put up a good fight.
Oh, he did.
Yes.
He really did. He's pulled this much closer back than I was expecting.
Me too, I wasn't expecting it to go this close, because, 6 more hits and he would have won the game, potentially.
Yeah. Yeah, if he'd managed to kill off Dengar with that last shot, he'd have had a chance against Tel.
Just keep on blocking.
7 more hits Tel has his ability still.
That's true.
But even so,
yeah, I agree, Juice.
if Chewie had stayed up a turn or 2 more, if David had Lebo in range in that first round of shooting as well.
I think not having range on both ships was the key thing.
Yeah.
Chew was in too quick into the engagement area.
I also think David may have targeted the wrong ship on his first shot. He should have gone straight for Dengar.
I agree.
You just want to kill him. You just want to kill him stone dead as fast as you can.
That was 4 dice. Look at what's left on Dengar right now.
He may well have...
Yes, Dengar might have got an attack back and Chew might have died sooner, but Dengar will be much closer to being dead.
Yeah, and that's really the most important thing. Because what David's advantage here is that both of his ships have damage output.
Yes.
Good damage output.
Very good.
Tel doesn't.
Yeah, well, he's got the plasma torch, but
he has 2 good shots.
That's it. 2 good shots, and that's it. Whereas David has consistent damage. Essentially, it's an alpha strike build that Voitek has, where he rolls in, does as much damage as he can, and to be fair, with expertise and guidance ships, he's going to be pumping out a lot of damage, at least on Dengar.
Yeah.
Without that on Tel, it's going to be a lot harder to get the damage in.
True, although Tel does have all of that, but the expertise. So he still has the security droid, the guidance ships, which aren't quite as good when you're not flying the punishing one, because it gives you a hit rather than a crit.
Yeah, but it's still another hit that you would otherwise get. It is still
another hit, yeah.
Very good game. Okay, David looks like he's slow rolling this one for a 1 bank. No, it's a 1 forward.
A 1 forward. He needs to green to remove that stress. Otherwise,
but I seriously think that Voitek would have seen this one coming. If I'm honest, I think
you might be right. So what I'm guessing we're going to see here is Tel turning up the board.
Yeah, I think a 2 right from Tel. Dengar's going to go 3 hard left, or if he can, and then barrel roll to get in the donut hole.
Oh,
has he done it again?
I think he's done it again. Oh no, he's not.
Oh, it's a close one. No, he hasn't.
No, Tel's
but
made it this time.
It has made it harder for Dengar to get into the donut hole, which is something. Unless he chooses to barrel roll, but I don't think he can with the asteroids where it is.
Probably not. Although to be honest, at this point, I don't think Voitek cares.
No, because he knows.
He needs to do 1 point of damage.
Yeah,
he can do 1 point of damage.
There's a 1 bank from Dengar.
That's a sloop.
It's a sloop. It is a sloop.
That's weird.
That is.
Oh, there we go. He didn't mean to do that.
Yeah.
That was.
Could this be the opening that David gets and needs?
No.
I don't think it's. I think it's too little, too late.
He's got into the range 1. He's got 4 dice. To do 1 point of damage.
And this is the problem with that range 1 donut
expertise.
hole. And expertise as well.
No.
4 dice.
3 symbols.
Look at that.
There you go.
Look at that.
He needed 3 symbols and then it was over.
It's over.
Even still, David managed to half both of those ships.
Yeah, very significant effort on the part of David. I do think, as we say, he did mess up in the fact that he didn't get Lebo into the engagement zone fast enough, and he was in a position where Chewie was, Lebo wasn't, and that's what killed it, I think, for me.
Yeah,
because Lebo is your main damage dealer. He has 4 dice.
He does have 4 attack dice in all directions. That's
the problem
painful.
and I think the problem is that lone wolf. It gives him great rerolls, but the problem with that is you're having to keep your friend at arm's length, which is not a bad thing, but because you're concentrating on that, it doesn't make you think of it makes it harder to get in there.
You need to see early game lone wolf as an if you can get it upgrade. It's more about the late game.
Yeah.
You don't want to try to you don't want to try to ensure it in the early game.
Yeah.
Because then you'll just screw up your own positioning.
Yeah. I mean, it did give him good rerolls in the late game, but
it's a fantastic late game card.
Do you think it'd be better if he had like a defensive thing, like I said earlier, determination, being able to discard cards?
Determination is quite nice on Lebo, because it's not just discard cards. It's if you get the right crits through, you don't take the damage.
Essentially, yeah, because
you just don't take it.
Yeah, he can choose his cards. Yeah. So like, okay, what have I got? Well, there's a pilot one there. Of course I'm going to choose that, and then just discard it.
The damage doesn't even happen.
Which saves the crit. It gives you a pseudo Chewie in a weird way. I'm not sure if that would have saved him, because I think the lone wolf did indeed help him at several times.
It did.
Mainly the late game, though, as you say.
Yes, but that is what it's for.
Yeah, that's what it's for. I mean, he has got quite a few. Well, I have actually removed a crew, which is Kane and Jarrus there,
who is 3 points, which fills up
the remaining points. So if he were to lose lone wolf,
yes,
what could he have? He could.
Well, if we're talking determination, that's a point.
That is a point. So he gets an initiative. He gets an initiative bid then.
Yes. That points skill 5, potentially useful.
Well, at least for if there's like a swarm going on.
Yes.
So I don't think the initiative bid is really worth it. I mean, if you were going to go for determination, I would then find a point to go elsewhere, which we got a modification slot on the Falcon and and 2 missile slots. There's tactical jammer. If you're firing at Lebo through Chewie, then
that's
maybe
obstructed.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or you could get smuggling compartments to get an illicit for the Falcon, like Black Market Slicer Tools or Burnout Slam.
Slam can get quite nice. No, the rigged cargo chute though.
A rigged cargo chute, yes.
You could spend those on a rigged cargo chute on either one of them.
Yeah, or not. It could go on either one. You're correct. Actually, no, because you'd lose the anti-pursuit lasers on Lebo.
You would, and they did come in useful. So
actually, no, you could get them both on there because you can equip another.
You can.
So yeah. Ooh, that's not a bad idea. Yeah. Blocking them, dropping the chute behind you, and then forcing the bump. That's not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah, rigged cargo chute on Lebo. It could come in handy.
Oh, with the barrel roll, it gives you a lot more positioning options as well.
Yeah.
Although you can't drop it immediately after. If you could then find a way to get that extra action as a way of doing that. Do you think maybe the heavy laser cannons too? I mean, it's 4 damage output. Do you think maybe a Mangler would be more efficient point-wise and offer the same kind of output?
It is quite... the 4 attack dice, though.
I agree. 4 attack dice.
It's just so good.
It does solve the donut hole problem, though.
It solves the donut hole problem. It frees up 3 points, and it puts out crits. But
you're looking for main punch.
Yeah, it doesn't match the it doesn't match the heavy laser cannon for sheer damage output. Just for the numbers.
Tessellation. There we go. There we go. But yeah, I'm trying to find where we can actually look at the list in question. But I'll bring up Boothcam. But yeah, I do think your idea of a rigged cargo chute is not a terrible idea, actually. I think that's probably the most logical solution.
It's against this in this particular match.
Yeah, this particular one, yes.
No, in this particular match, that turns off expertise.
You're right, because stress. It gives you a bit of stress control as well.
Expertise doesn't work when you're stressed.
I didn't think of that. Yeah, that's not a bad call.
It's something that would seriously harm Voitek's list.
I can see that. Yeah.
It does not want stress control. That will just cut its damage output.
I mean, do you want to go all in on the anti-pursuit and shove anti-pursuit on both the ships?
You could. Chewie's not so much of the...
He's not, but he's still a large base.
He is still a large base. He can do that. But I'd prefer the rigged cargo chute.
I concur with you. Well, you can have 2 ships with the smuggling compartments, can't you? They're not... They are unique.
They are unique.
You
can only have one smuggling compartment
per match, so you're gonna have to choose which one you have the rigged cargo chute on.
Yes.
But I think Lebo's the best one because with the maneuverability you get with him. I mean, I think even the dial is better for Lebo. Let's compare the two. The only difference is the lack of a K turn. And the 3 turns. The YT-424 has a 3 turn as well.
It has 3 hard turn, which
it loses. Okay, it loses the 3K, but do you care?
You have 4K. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So
the 2400 does have a slightly better dial, I think. Not by much.
The 3 hard is what gives it its distance, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Plus the barrel roll as well.
Yeah, 3 hard turn barrel roll.
Yeah, I think drop anti-pursuit lasers temporarily while you put the smuggling compartment on. Get the anti-pursuit lasers back
because
then a rigged cargo chute.
Yep.
Determination on Lebo as well. Drop Lone Wolf for determination. If we stick the heavy laser cannon back on there, you're then at 100 points. Yes. I think that's a pretty solid upgrade there. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. The Signals Loop version of the Falcon, get rid of that and change it for the standard Falcon title.
For the original, for evades.
Yep. Or if you really want a bid, you can drop it for that, or find a point somewhere for something else. If you're really attached to that Lone Wolf, drop the Falcon title entirely and just put Lone Wolf and Smuggling Compartment's Rigged Cargo Chute.
Yeah, he didn't use the... he didn't sloop.
He didn't sloop once in that game.
No.
Which in that case, do you need Kanan? Well, Kanan Jarrus is very effective for losing the rage, thus inspiring recruits. So you need Kanan.
Yeah, Kanan's inspiring recruit is for the rage.
Yeah, that makes that whole thing work.
Yes, otherwise you're trapped on the Falcon's greens, which aren't very good.
Agreed.
It's 1 forward,
one
bank,
forward,
2
1 bank,
forward.
2 forward. Yeah, not fantastic. Which Kanan opens up that a lot more.
Kanan opens it up to your entire dial apart from the K turn.
Yes.
Which is...
Why not?
For 3 points, that's, wonderful.
Ray worked exceptionally well in the match, I think.
Yeah.
I think
is very good.
He does need to save up more of those focus, though, because having the reposition of the barrel roll gives him a lot of bumping with the anti-pursuit lasers. So...
What I would have done, I think, is I'd have gone for a much slower approach.
Yes.
At first, Chewie has advantages from a long distance approach, and Lebo, as we mentioned, doesn't give away range 3 bonuses, but does benefit from them.
He does benefit from them a lot, yeah.
And his opponents just don't get them because that's a secondary weapon.
Yep. It also lowers the chance of them rushing in for the range 1 donut hole as well.
Yeah.
Because they have to think where you're going next turn, not where you are now.
Yeah, I would. Dave's list is one I would slow roll.
It definitely is a slow roller list.
Yeah.
There's no question of that. But no, I think drop. The sloop did nothing. Drop it. Get rid of it. Get
rid of that. The evade might have kept him alive a bit longer.
Even then, I'm thinking, if it were me, I would drop it entirely.
Yeah.
I don't, because it messes with your, because you're going to need to rage every turn anyway.
That's true.
So you're not going to get your evade action. You don't need to sloop.
True. And the thing with the sloop Kanan Jarrus is you do it so you can have a white sloop.
I guess that's why, but
the thing is, he doesn't in this build.
Yeah, I don't think he
effectively.
Yeah. Because
if you're going to rage, so you're going to want to remove your stress before you activate the title, so you get stress on it. And then you've not got your rage.
Yeah.
And have you really benefited from it that much?
No, I think it's better for you, if you're not engaging, to just go away, K-turn, come back in. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think dropping the title entirely is not a bad choice.
You've got the turret. You don't need the arc with Chewie. I'm not sure that title is worth having.
Hello, David.
Hello.
That was a slugfest.
Do you want to come and join us for a quick chat?
Yeah.
In fact, we were actually discussing what we'd do with your list, actually, funny enough.
Okay,
A few suggestions.
Well, grab a chair. Grab a chair.
I'll swing here.
You brought it back a lot more than we thought you would. That was impressive.
Very impressive. Very, very impressive.
If you managed to take Dengar down that penultimate turn,
Yeah.
that was
and also that
slightly
condition
unfortunate
is I
roll.
wouldn't have the thrust control. I would have probably done a hard turn and just tried to sit there and see if I bumped and then just burnt into the...
One thing we did notice, that turn when you lost your last 2 shields on him, you shouldn't have spent the focus. It did nothing. On the
Because
defense.
essentially, you saved yourself 1 shield, but that was removed by plasmas. Anyway, if you'd not spent it, it would remove 2 shields, but there's no shield to remove.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
You spent a focus to do nothing.
Oops.
Yeah, it was one of those things. You know,
It's fine. That is something that. But no, we were.
yeah, we were looking at your list and thinking what we'd change, what we'd throw in, what we'd throw out, and we've come with.
It actually
some
has
choices.
the
couple of
sloop title there
suggestions.
as well. I don't know why it's
Oh,
not showing
Well,
there.
we modified it.
Oh, modifying it, okay.
So
removed that.
we removed it because we don't think you used it at all. We don't think it benefits you because you want to rage every turn.
But it's also, if I'm running very close to the edge of the board,
Turn around before you do that.
Turn them before you do that.
Yeah.
One hard turns.
I'm aware I have the 1 hard turns, but if I've got no other option, I cannot K-turn.
You don't put yourself in that option. That's the
Yeah.
important thing.
Just don't do that.
I prefer that title rather than the evade title because
We don't think the evade title is going to be worth it. We don't think
No.
Either.
Don't take either.
They're not helpful to you, really.
We dropped Lone
what we
Wolf
were.
off of Lebo for determination because it gives you more survivability. Even though Lone Wolf did help you out a lot.
That's that's a
it
take
gave
it or
me
leave
like
it.
That's
You
a
can go
take-
either way.
that is a
It
take
gave me
it or
like
leave
an
it.
extra 1 or 2 evades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, if you drop the title, you can still get Lone Wolf with our recommendations, which is
We were thinking rigged cargo chute on Lebo.
To be fair, I am playing with what I've got. I don't own a Lancer, so I wouldn't.
well, true, but it's
Well, that's
that is
fair
a problem.
enough.
But it does. It's an option that we saw, and we like
Yeah,
the
no,
idea.
that's fine. That makes. I
You move, you drop, you force them to bump, and also onto the refill. Also shuts down expertise as well, as you pointed out.
But yeah, you could also see when I got pleased when the fact of the anti-pursuit laser got tail down to half points.
Yeah, that
was a
worked
good
out very
move.
well for you.
That was a good move. Anti-pursuit lasers and rock and getting the damage from both of them.
But it wasn't until the third one procced, or whatever it was, how many times it dealt in the damage. But it wasn't until that last one procced that I would have got the half points.
Yeah.
If I'd have survived another turn, like I said, if I hadn't have got the stress from Dengar, I would have, probably done a 1 hard right rather than having to do a straight.
Yeah.
1 hard right and then just burn it into the candlelight with a 4 straight or something.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, hello Sync13. Hope you're enjoying the game. If you've got any questions, just drop them in the chat. We'll try and answer them as best as we can.
Yes.
But yeah, going back to what we're saying is in that isn't because it's thrust control file that gives you the stress, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a ship card, isn't
That's a
it?
ship card, yeah.
Basically, the 4 cards that I drew, first turn, direct hit.
No.
Nope.
Second one, structural damage.
Nope.
No.
Third one was...
The bump.
Stun pilot.
Yeah.
That's the one you
I
put
think
down.
it might have...
Yeah, you did put down a stun pilot, so...
Yeah, I can't remember what...
Ask them.
No, blinded.
Ask them.
One of
Yeah.
them was blinded
Ask
pilot.
questions.
One of them was
Oh.
blinded pilot. I know
no,
that.
you don't want that.
That was either the third or the fourth one because they came in the same packet. But it was just like I had to choose obviously very carefully. You saw I was taking time to think about that decision.
Yeah, you were, which I completely agree with. However, in that instance, it could come in.
No, yeah.
Oh, hello, Toby.
Mr. Brown.
I have a present for you on it.
For me.
Yes.
For me? Oh my goodness! Oh wow! My big Starklighter. Well done. Would you mind if I show it off?
Yeah, go for it.
So I commissioned Toby to do me a big Starklighter repaint on my X-Wing, and oh my god, I'm very happy with that.
I've even done the little spirals on the...
I see the spirals. I'm trying to get it to focus.
Okay, because I noticed obviously the little yellow splatters that was on his ones at the
There we go.
at the edge.
That's better.
Yeah, look at that.
That is...
I really am happy with that. Thank you so much for that, Toby. I didn't actually bring my box tonight, so I'm actually going to be very careful transporting this out. Thank you so much.
You're probably going to be getting a lift with me. I'll put it somewhere safe.
Thank you, buddy. I love it. And you even know what I like. You know I don't like it gloss. I like it matte. So thank you.
Nice and dirty and dark. And
it's the right shade of cream as well. Or the grey or whatever it is they do. Because I think they come out kind of greeny to my perspective. But I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Toby. I love it. Thank you.
no worries.
That's a nice surprise. Sorry about that little intermission there, guys.
You probably do want it a bit matte. It's the Star Wars look.
It is the Star Wars look.
Everything's dirty and lived
Everything's
in.
dirty and lived in. Dirty rebels. Anyway, back to this conversation at hand.
There we go.
But something I pointed out to Voitek, I don't know if you mentioned it as well. Actually, that is the first time I have live played that list. I've been playing quite a lot on Benchmark recently, so I've been testing a few lists. Because obviously, a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to Europeans, which I'm scared.
How's the plan? How are you thinking about that?
Basically, as you guys are pretty much aware, Kane and Lebo is very much in the forefront of my mind because I know how to fly that inside out.
Your stars and stripes list, as you call it.
Captain Antbar.
Captain Antbar as well, yes.
Well, this is my stars and stripes.
This is the stars and stripes. Captain Antbar is Kanan and Lebo. So it's the same kind of Lebo, but with Kanan Jarrus involved.
Yeah.
Which that's good defensively because Kanan debuffs the attacks.
He does.
I said to Voitek as the game was going on, I thought those 3 dice plasmas would have been tastier. But I said the story behind me putting Kanan in my list originally was because I saw this a version of the Chewie Lebo on YouTube, and Chewie was 48 points. Kanan, my Kanan build is 48 points. They're virtually interchangeable.
Yeah.
I like this version because it gives the punch for attack.
I did debate dropping we debated this, the heavy laser cannon versus the mangler, didn't we? It saves a lot of points, but then you want the punch of the 4 dice.
Exactly, the 4 dice is tasty. I'm happy at range 2 against Jump Masters because if they've got no torpedoes, it's 2v2.
Yeah.
If it's obviously not got the Dengar punishing one title on there. Range 3, I'm happy because I've got 3 against 2 or even 3 against 3. Obviously behind Asteroid could make that 4. On the other hand, if I'm sitting at either range band 2 or 3 against something, let's say for example the Jump Master is 2 evade dice, that's 4 against 2, regardless at range 2 or 3. I get all the advantages and my opponent doesn't, so I'm using that to try and punch. I did say to Voitek though, when he killed Chewie, if he was going to shoot Tel into Lebo anyway, Tel should have shot Lebo first because Lone Wolf would not have procced.
That's true. Things are not removed until the end of the activation for that pilot skill.
Yes. You're correct. Yes.
So, it would have died at that stage. So Chewie was dead at that point.
But not removed from the board until the end of activation of pilot skill 9.
Yes.
Oh, in that case, should still be on the board then. So I shouldn't
for your attack, it would be because he died during a pilot skill 9 moment. At the end of that phase, it moved down to 8, 7, 6, 5. You got your Lone Wolf.
I shouldn't have done because it's pilot skill 9. Both of them were 9.
Yeah.
If you did it on a defense, then no, you wouldn't have got that. If you did it on an attack, then you would have been fine.
Yeah. I can't remember what I did on the defense
because effectively,
I did say potentially to Voitek. I didn't think about. So obviously, PS9.
Lessons learned.
But obviously, I said to him, if you were going for that shot with Tel, let's say non-VI for this purpose. If you were going for that shot with Tel, no, this was a mute point because you would have shot Dengar. Dengar would have killed it anyway. But potentially, obviously, you've got a whole potential Lone Wolf situation.
Alright, so Sink has asked a question, which is, I really like the YV666, but I'm not sure what to do when they get behind Bosk. Do you have any suggestions?
Run. Run.
He's not fast enough. No,
he's not fast.
Okay turns.
No.
You want to use your manoeuvring in asteroids to your advantage, I think.
Yeah, manoeuvring in asteroids, if you have it rigged cargo chute, helps. But obviously, if you don't,
bombs?
No.
I would actually stick anti-pursuit lasers on it because
also valid. They do have the full stop.
Yeah, because if it stops, then they need to go slow enough that they can guarantee that they're going to be behind you. So they're doing a 1. But then you might do a 3 turn, end up out of the way, Or they might bump into you and you might do damage to them.
Or they take it the other way. So let's say, for example, they've only got a front arc shot. If they think, hang on a minute, you've got the stop, and they've got anti-pursuit laser, they're going to think, I need to go big.
K-turn.
No, they're going to go big. They have no idea where you're going. For example, they don't lock in a K-turn. You've got them right in front of you.
Yeah. Bowshek is nice if you want to mess with their dial and block them.
If you have that.
If you have it.
And force them into a place where they don't want to be, but you want them to
comes in the quad jumper.
Yeah, comes in the quad jumper. Yeah, the thing is, the YV has been known to have a trouble turning around.
Yeah, that is the big weakness of it. You get behind them, then...
Which is the balancing point. Right. Because it's the balance because it has quite a good arc. It's also very powerful when it's got its shots.
Yeah.
It's got a very good upgrade bar as well.
Yeah, and Bosk has a very powerful ability.
Yeah, Bosk himself has a good ability.
Isn't there one who has the... You can fire cannons out of its auxiliary.
Moralo Eval.
Yes. Imagine having that with a Mangler.
Yeah.
Sitting at range band 3, I've still got you sitting out here.
You have Bowshek. There you go. Full stop Bowshek.
It's funny.
Especially
if they're higher pilot or if they're lower pilot skill than you, and or higher because you stop, they bump into you. You stop next round. Actually, that doesn't work, does it? Because you're stopping. You're not touching, are you?
Well, you have to be touching when they activate.
But because Bowshek says ignores the stress issue. I was going to say you can't do a red maneuver when you're stressed.
It's fine. If you can find a way to force them to bump, if they're lower than you, then perfect. Because you stop, you just they bump into you, and then you just do Bowshek, whatever.
Ion stuff, ion cannon.
Yeah, if you have Bowshek, that can be funny. Full stops are definitely your friend there. Full stop followed by turning fast.
Yeah. If they have distance on you, then it's a problem. But if they've got distance on you, run for it.
Yeah.
Or what about, rather than anti-pursuit laser, ion projector?
Ion projector's not a bad idea. It gives you control.
It does.
It doesn't against the large ships, but it
does against the smaller ones.
It threatens them to. You've already now taken an ion.
Yeah.
You've got to be careful where you next go, because if I bump you again, you're going to take another one. At that point, I wouldn't be too far tempted to do a one straight with the YV666 and saying, if you've locked in a one straight, two straight, or three straight maneuver, you are still going to touch.
If you want a good kind of also one attack thing to get out of the way, hotshot blaster.
Yeah.
You have one
out of arc attack.
And then 3 dice as well. That's quite potent.
Yeah, it's pretty potent. Yeah,
it's not bad. There is also you have to. Well, if you're flying, generally speaking, with the YV666, don't be too precious about getting actions.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing. You want to get arc more than you want to get actions.
Yeah.
Which engine upgrade does help with that as well.
Engine upgrades can help. They'll let you turn around quite a bit.
Yeah.
And a high pilot skill on Bosk. Pricey. They are 4 points, but they do give you access to boost.
Yes.
But yeah, the YV666 doesn't care too much about getting actions all the time.
It also matters what you're flying with it as well. Because YV666 is good, but it really needs good support for it.
You do.
What would you guys pair with it? I mean, I know you don't play Scum, but
I do play Scum.
Sometimes. But
I would go for another high, 1 or 2, depending on how many points.
If you want
point aces.
If you want something to cover the rear of that ship, I'd go Fen Rao.
They
wouldn't be too. If Fen Rao's behind that thing, they won't be too happy to get behind it. Then they would be eager to get.
Or even drawn up alongside, saying, okay, if you go far enough forwards, you've got the primary at the very least out the auxiliary firing arc. If you've got just behind me, you've got potentially 4 or 5 dice, 3 or 5 dice Fen Rao to deal with.
It changes Fen from an interceptor into a weird kind of defense ship, actually. It's a very weird... I actually kind of want to try that list now. YV666 with a Fen Rao. Oh, God.
He is expensive.
He is rather expensive, what he does. The YV666, Bosk is 35 points.
Yeah,
so he's a third of your list.
So 50 by the time you want to put stuff on him?
Well, you really want to give him like a Mangler cannon so you can get that guaranteed crit out there.
He does like the Mangler cannon very much.
Then he can get double hits on such.
You want to you want to give him his party for his bus.
Remember some of his old party was nerfed in the recent FAQ, like Zuckus and Forlom.
True, but Dengar is still quite a nice option.
Dengar. Boba Fett.
Not so much Fett.
But it could be for one of those, the one-time proc.
Yeah. If you want action economy, K4 security droid.
Yeah, K4s are nice. If you honestly though,
what's the one on the red? Is that mercenary? What is it? Outlaw? Outlaw tech. Outlaw tech's a red maneuver. I'm saying one focus token on your ship. It gives you
not bad.
It gives you an action. It gives you a focus on that stock,
okay,
which
so
can be
what about Outlaw Tech and K4 Security Droid?
It's a great combo, and it gives you great economy. It can get pricey though.
I'd say you don't necessarily need the K4 Security Droid if you take Dengar.
I agree.
Because you can't have all the rerolls.
Yeah.
You get the rerolls from Dengar.
Yeah.
And he's very good.
Bosk, Marksmanship, Mangler Cannon, K4 Security Droid, Merc, Copilot, Glitzdem. I'd say drop the K4 and go for actually no, because Mercenary Copilot, not fantastic. When attack at range 3, turn a hit to a crit. I mean, it gives you a crit, but really you're already gaining that from the Mangler.
Yeah,
you can't. If you get 2 crits, you can only cancel one of them down.
Yeah, I'd switch that for an Outlaw Tech. I mean, but then you got 2 hits, you got 4 hits and a crit. So
nice.
Dengar Outlaw Tech. I'd keep the Glitzdem. I think Dengar's a good option there. I think that you've been the right call with that. Mangler Cannon, Elite Talent. What would you guys give for Bosk for Elite Talent? I think expertise is not a bad call.
Yeah.
Then again,
maybe
it makes Outlaw Tech kind of redundant.
Wide.
No, because you're stressful. You're stressing yourself.
Wide.
Yeah.
Wide when you're stressed may reroll one focus result, but then you've got to focus on which you're rerolling.
If you if you have to defend against multiple shots,
you've got one. You've got one green. No, you've only got one green. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I agree. I would. That's the thing. The Elite Talent is the hardest one to fill out. I mean, when in doubt, Veteran Instinct, shove up to 9.
VI is never a bad call. So you said you've been putting apparently marksmanship.
Yeah, I think VI would probably be better for you. Because the problem is it's not got great greens and it's got a lot of red.
Yeah.
So you're not getting the marksmanship all the time.
It's not a maneuverable ship.
You kind of feel like maybe.
Yeah.
A tiny mind link. Because you take an ace with a much more nimble green dial, de-stress.
You're not wrong, actually.
Get a focus, and they both get a focus.
I mean,
I have to admit that the combination is not bad. Marksmanship along with K4 security drive. As long as you're not doing a red, you're fine. The problem is when they get behind you, you really want to be doing reds.
Yes.
It's a hard one to kind of suss because there's no right or wrong way to build Dengar.
No.
Bosk.
There's a lot of options. There's a lot of ways you can.
There's a lot of slots to fill. Let's put it that way.
Ignore the Harris 2 tile.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Not really worth it.
It's not worth it at all.
But
you weren't doing that anyway, so that's.
But a PS9 pup though.
Yeah. I don't think it's worth it.
No.
I'm saying like anything less than.
If you really want to get around quickly, Burnout Slam could get you around very quickly.
It can.
3 turn. Do another 3 turn.
A 3 turn, another 3 something. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do a 3 turn, then a 3/4 to get you away from there and get to the area.
You can do 2 4-forwards.
Yeah. Yeah, you could.
You can do 10 forwards.
That's a 10 forward, yeah. That's
if you really want to.
If you really want to.
You have one shot of just burn down the board. You can do that. They won't be behind you. They'll be behind you anyway.
They'll be behind you,
a long way away.
Long way away.
I did like.
They wouldn't be expecting it.
No.
I did like Voitek when he used the burnout slam and advanced slam to drop the bomb with.
Oh, if only you could get Sabine Wren on the scum.
Yeah.
Well, I'm obviously thinking about the fire spray, Amon Azamine.
Drop bombs on the 3 hard turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to get around really quickly, and he has a front and rear firing arc.
Yeah.
As well.
True. Yeah. No, Bosk. I think I'd go with the VI on Bosk.
I agree.
Especially as if we did what we were just talking about and putting him with Fen Rao, who's pilot skill 9.
You move them simultaneously.
I mean, Audio's got a good point as well. K4 customized guidance chips, scavenger crane. Just the idea is don't let them get behind you. Destroy them before they get behind you. You know,
blow things up first.
Blow things up first.
It's true. They can't
get behind you if they're destroyed.
Yeah.
Also, if you want the control, you have 52 points left.
Yeah.
You could always run a couple of hired gun Y-wings with ion cannon and unhinged.
If you really wanted that.
If you wanted the control, of course.
I mean, let's shove, for the sake of argument, let's shove our good old friend, what's his name? Let's put Fenrau Fearlessness, is that what he usually is with? No, he's usually with Push Limit, isn't he?
Push, Tiny Mind Link.
Push, he turns up a lot in Mind Link list, but if you're not putting him in Mind Link list,
then push.
Yeah.
So yeah, Push the Limit.
Do him as a full-on high pilot skill arc dodger.
With Concord Dawn, well, arc dodger, pseudo arc dodger.
You know.
And of course, auto thrusters to give it more survivability potentially.
Yeah, that's the standard.
The only thing is, though, you only have 18 points left. What do you do with the other 18 points?
I would go for a quad jumper.
Oh yeah, because you've got those.
Little tug.
A Jakku gun run a tug?
Yeah, just a nice little tug. No, tug.
A tugboat. Oh, tugboat.
Yeah.
Oh,
have a little tugboat.
That's not a bad idea actually. So with the title, Space Tug Tractor Away. Nah, it's not a bad call. It gives you tractor beam tokens out to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Jakku gun runner with Space Tug Tractor Array. Yeah, it's not a bad call actually.
How many points is Ketsu?
I wouldn't be concerned with Ketsu, to be fair.
I'm more meaning because you space tug them, you tractor beam them, and you potentially keep that around for next turn.
Ketsu Crew.
That's Ketsu Crew, yeah.
Yeah.
Ketsu Crew is a decent choice. She's like 1.
She's 1 point.
She's 1 point.
It's 1 point, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go. Space Tug Tractor Away with Ketsu on board.
Yeah.
Which then they won't want to attack Boss, they want to attack the Jakku gun runner.
Yeah,
because
that's fine.
Anything that has tractor beam on it wants to die quickly.
Yeah, especially when it just gives it to you. It's just no, you've got that now.
Yeah,
and potentially,
there you go.
If you know roughly where their dial is going to want to roughly take them, stick it on them, force them to move to somewhere you don't want them to be.
We're having the Jakku gun runner being suggested with pattern analyzer.
Yeah,
pattern analyzer does make a lot of sense because that lets you reverse,
then
and tug them again.
Yeah. So I roll up to you, I tug you, I then reverse, then tug you again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course you got if you have Ketsu on board as well. Oh dear.
You need to.
Here's
Voitek. Next one. Next round.
Fantastic. Next match.
So John Easter versus Darren Chapman.
Mm-hmm.
So double defenders and Bomber versus Jan Ors, Hawk, Aaron Kraken, Z95 and Miranda Dunny. Then we've got Robin versus myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what Robin's flying. He exchanged the Vega Leader for Pure Sabak. Then we've got Dave Lincoln versus Will Greeley.
That's going to be
Will is flying Han Solo,
Jan Ors.
And Jan Ors possibly. And on table 4 we have Michael Marks and Sean Relay. Sean is flying Paloptani. And Michael next, I'm not sure what he is.
He's going to be running his Ghost Brains, Kanan Brainsram and
Zeb. Yes, definitely.
Zeb for the
there's definitely some interesting matchups.
Let's have John's list on.
John versus Darren.
John versus Darren.
Yeah, let's go with that.
That is definitely some interesting, tasty matchups.
Well, good luck with the rest of your matches, David.
I hope so.
And also, happy birthday to you as well. Happy birthday, David Lincoln.
It's my birthday tomorrow.
It's his birthday tomorrow.
Well, happy birthday for tomorrow then.
So,
Hopefully I win the next tour and come third.
Good luck, David.
That's not going to happen.
Alright, so next game.
Does Space Tug... yes. You don't get the move, you don't get the repositioning from giving a large
But you do
ship.
lower their agility, which can be very effective against large ships, where they only have 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, only the aggressor has 3.
Yeah.
So even then, and the difference between 2 and 1 is very big.
It's huge.
It's huge difference.
It's huge. Also, if you have something like... If you can't get something with 1 agility, just saying you don't have that, and you're just going to take what I throw. That can be very nice. Yeah. So yeah, you don't get to do the boost or barrel roll on them. You only do that on small based ships. But you take off their agility, and that hurts.
I think the Termordy Weasel is unbirthday, I think, according to Disney at least. So I'm just kind of going over this.
If you're going to listen to Lewis Carroll.
Lewis Carroll is on birthday, yeah. I really do like this. He's done a great job at this one. I can't wait to be flying it. I'm going to put that down now and stop kind of looking at it. Alright, So let's get on with the show. So we have John setting up on the left.
Yep.
And that means we got.
Did we have hit